Before anything, I just wanted to give you a quick spoiler warning for Marvel's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Season 7. Spoilers all the way up to the most recent episode, Season 7, Episode 10, Stolen. I highly recommend you click off now if you're not caught up. Just come back to this video when you're done. Alright, everyone who's not seen up to Stolen off already? Good, let's get into the video then. I know you've already read the title, so let me just explain real quick before I get into it. I do believe Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. needed a 7th season, but I do not believe it had to be the events that have played out so far. I just wanted to clear that up before the intro. Okay? The level of emotion in Season 7 is off the charts. Time travel just seems to fit with that, especially because it mirrors Avengers Endgame with that plot. But, alas, with any time travel story, there will be plot holes. That is where people like me come in, the type of people who will make a theory based on a detail virtually nobody picked up on. So here's the plot hole. When the timeline was changed, it affected another universe, not the original timeline we're used to, right? So what if the agents never went back in time? Would the original timeline be affected? I know, not really a plot hole, just an interesting thought. Just use plot hole for, lack of a better word. Anyway, that's the question I'm going to try to answer within the next 10 to 30 minutes. More like 1 to 3 hours when you account for editing, retakes, downloading, uploading, putting pictures in, putting clips in. It's a whole process I'm not going to bore you with right now. Anyway, the point of today's video is to explain why the events of Season 7 are unnecessary. So here it is. Somewhere in the multiverse, there is a version of events where the agents stayed in their timeline, and let's say the Chronicons did succeed in making Earth their new home, Chronicle 3. What would happen to the timeline the S.H.I.E.L.D. agents lived in? My theory, nothing. As we've seen time and time again, changing a timeline only results in a new timeline being made. The old ones still exist. Here's a clip where Hulk explains it.
I don't know why everyone believes that, but that isn't true. Think about it. If you travel to the past, that past becomes your future. And your former present becomes the past, which can't now be changed by your new future. Exactly.
What I mean by my theory is nothing. My theory is not nothing. My theory is that nothing would happen. Okay, just gotta clear that up. Anyway, the agents could have stayed in the original timeline without a care in the world. Fitz and Simmons could have finally had a happy ending. Daisy would still exist in the present. Deke and Mac would not have had to spend almost 2 years in the 80s. And present-day Enoch would still be alive. Oh, side note, Joel Stouffer, who plays Enoch, is said to make an appearance in episode 11. My guess is it's the version of him from this new timeline. Enoch seems to be well on his way to dying as many times as Coulson has. The original timeline would not be affected at all by this. So why did the agents even bother going back in time? I think they did it so they can finally join the MCU properly. Full video on that by clicking the card. I made a video on that a few weeks ago. No, but seriously, these changes in the timeline could result in what we know today as the MCU, the version of events where Daisy was never born. Mac lost his parents at a young age. Coulson was still dead from Loki stabbing him with the pointy stick. And the team never met. The new, or rather old, reality could mean trouble for some of the team. They might even meet their younger selves, causing trouble in identification and figuring out who's who and which version of each person is which. Of course, most of the trouble would only come with Simmons, Mac, May, and Yo-Yo. Coulson, Daisy, Deke, and Sousa would be fine. Coulson's dead, Daisy was never born, and Deke is from an alternate future. All these identity crises would have been avoided if the agents stayed in their timeline. It wouldn't have been that hard. So what if the Chronicles made Chronicle 3 by time traveling? That new future would just end up in another branch of the multiverse. It's a win-win for everybody. The Chronicons have a new home, and the agents to stay in their original timeline without ever having to worry about the Chronicons again. Enoch could have even become an agent of S.H.I.E.L.D. if he wanted to. There might have even been room to squeeze a Season 8. Instead, they just had to prevent another universe from the Chronicoms. The events that have taken place were completely unnecessary. Time travel can be cruel like that. You have two different timelines that branch off of each other. Sometimes you have to make a choice. Either risk nothing happening in your original timeline, stay there, or go and save another. Unless, of course, the version of Simmons in Season 7 is a version from this new branch of reality. What do you think? Does that make any sense? No, it does not make any sense because Simmons remembers Daisy, Coulson, and Deke. So that theory is disproven. And she also remembers the team and Fitz and all the history. Okay, so that theory is disproven. Anyway, the point is, Season 7 did not need to be a time travel story. Because that is not how time travel works. There are different branches of the multiverse, and Deke was wrong about the time stream idea. I mean, I guess you can't really blame him. He's only on present-day Earth for about a year. So he could have only learned about time travel and its effects over the course of that time, which is very small. And also he had that kind of illegal company. He didn't have enough time to watch YouTube videos like this. Anyway, so, yeah. All this could have been avoided. And Deke was wrong about the time stream, like I've said time and time again. And my script ended too early, so now I just have to improvise for the rest of the video. Great. Okay, you know what? I'm going to take a quick break. Scream at the screen as much as you want. Pause the video if you want to. I'm back and a little bit calmed down. Okay, I'm a little bit calmed down. So, should I work more on a script or should I improvise from here? That is the question. Why am I doing a terrible quote? I guess the rest of this video will just be a little bit about some stuff. Maybe a few predictions for Season 7. How many changes will prove my point. And you know what? I'll give a few examples. The first example is that Sousa is not really dead in this new timeline, so it could be possible that he was actually dead in the original timeline, as there's not really any proof that any of the agents went back in time in their original timeline. And there's actually definitely not any proof that the agents went back in time in this new timeline, because we don't see them. We only see the ones from the original one. So, there we go. No more changes. Also, I'm sorry about all this stuff. This has been basically a 6-minute rant on how time travel works and how Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. sometimes doesn't get it. Yeah, okay. Well, another change is Freddie Malik and Project Insight and all that stuff in the 70s. Those changed because, well, I'm pretty sure Insight might be coming back in 2014 of this new timeline. Like I said before, it's this new timeline was possibly the real MCU, and there's just not that many changes, and so you never know. There might be some stuff that's coming up. Yeah, and I actually have one more note on my script that I should probably tell you about. It's not. It doesn't. There's no really any proof. There's not really any proof of it. But it just came to my mind. I'm like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. And here it is. This new timeline is either the MCU, which I really hope it is, or, wait for it, Deke's alternate future. How fitting would it be if Season 7's time travel paradox was finally resolved by... Well, the timeline was finally resolved because it's a very complicated process. Trust me, I'm still trying to figure it out myself. That timeline's gonna be crazy. Alright, well, yeah, I'm gonna check how long this video is real quick, and I'll get back to you when I see it. Alright, so that's all the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. stuff I had to talk about. I also had one more note on my Google Docs. Possible video idea. Tell me if you like this. The theory process. It's a whole process on how to make a theory, and if you want, I can do a video on that eventually. Yeah, so, okay, outro time, I guess. Alright, so this is just a quick video, apparently, that I've been wanting to make for a week. Took me a while to write the script, but that's what happens when you write. Sometimes when you write something for a while, it comes out as 5 minutes long. That's just my experience. Sometimes I write, it takes a long time to write a script. It only comes out 5 minutes, so that's why I had to improvise this time. I wanted to get to at least 10 minutes, so yeah, thanks for sticking to the end, though. That's okay. Just thank you. Okay, so you can like the video if you did like it. Watch another video in the top left, top right, and bottom left corners of the screen, and please subscribe for more videos like this. Actually, not more videos like this, better videos like this, with less of a rant and more of a theory. So, yeah. Well, that's all I have for today. Bye.